goes first?
There's a
I'm
first
Mia.
person. That's Mia.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes, and I am Bianca.
Well, I'm very lucky to have you both of you here with me tonight. Thank you everybody for joining. Mia, you have some fans in the chat, so make sure you try to address them if they say anything, all right?
Okay.
Guys, I thank you all for coming. I do obviously have some questions, a little bit for me, a little bit for Bianca, a little bit for both. I'm hoping all of us walk away from this conversation with some inspiration and motivation to keep going, because everything that Mia writes about is definitely her silhouette of strength and how she keeps moving forward. So I'm going to start off with a little simple question, because I know we want to just kind of break the ice a little bit. How would each of you describe your sisterhood, how it was formed, tested, and strengthened through all the challenges you faced?
Damn, that's loaded.
I know.
Um,
I
that's a
know.
very loaded one.
Well, I mean, it's real, and you can answer it or you cannot. But I think I'm very intrigued to hear both of your kind of perceptions on the way that you've got into the whatever relationship you guys have now.
Wow. Um,
Can you break it down for us? Like, there is a lot of.
there's a lot in that
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Can we start with
how
the
would you
first
describe your sisterhood?
tumultuous, right?
Yeah.
But
Tumultuous?
loving, yes,
Yeah.
because we share such a deep love.
Mm.
Sometimes we have to separate to come together.
Mm.
Okay. Yeah. So I think that our relationship has been very complicated because it's crossed a lot of different lines, right? Like my sister has been literally, my best friend, my mom, my sister, so she was a kid raising a kid,
Mm.
so she made a lot of mistakes that she didn't get to live her childhood that has affected me. And we have our time where we had to separate for a little bit and not speak in order to be able to create, I think, what we have right now, which it's the strongest that we've been, I think, ever, because there's a different understanding and a different appreciation.
Yeah.
Um, Even with her writing right now, I've gained a whole new type of respect for my sister, because some of the stuff I didn't even know, or some of the stuff I didn't remember, or some of the stuff, so it's been very complicated, but I wouldn't change a thing about it, because at the end of the day, it's gotten us to where we are now. And we truly, I feel, I don't know how you feel, Vega, but I feel like we appreciate each other more. We're more tolerant and understanding, and we're able to have conversations that we've never had before.
Yeah, yeah, and I had to learn how to meet people where they are, right, and not try to push them, or either way, right? And this
Right.
is life. This is right. So by learning that over time, um, for me, I let them, I let her do what she has to do as a woman, so that's it, you know?
I mean, Bianca, you really said that beautifully, and I'm glad that you kind of came at this clarity of, yeah, shit was hard. Yeah, she had
Yeah,
to wear a lot of different hats. Yeah, we probably hated each other for a point of time because of what we were going through at the ages that we were going through them. But I'm glad that you came to the realization of, like, all of it had served its purpose, and you guys have a relationship worth continuing to support and love each other throughout. So I mean, I'm forever again grateful both of you are willing to be here and opening up with us, because I have a sister, and we're only like 19 months apart. And we're like bipolar opposite, and our relationship is very tumultuous at times as well. And I wonder sometimes within sisterhoods if that is something that's common, whether you're close or not close, like in age or whatever the case might be. And if you all just kind of keep growing as humans, and sometimes you don't really aligned with your sister in that moment or whatever the case might be.
right.
When I moved away to Florida and I left my sister a young single mom, uh I wasn't thinking I was hurting her by doing that. I was thinking I was trying to save me so that I could be there. But she saw it like I abandoned her.
Right.
And like, where was I to help her with this kid that she had? So it was a lot for me to unpack. And like, still, I'm very proud of my sister for being who she is. But I don't think we always talk about what each other went through when we weren't necessarily together. So I'm glad that you guys have that relationship, and I'm glad that you're willing to kind of open up a little bit with me. So Mia, I pulled some questions from some of your recent posts. I want to kind of get the chapters right so I don't screw that up. And of course, somehow I wasn't set up the way that I normally would be. So bear with me real quick.
You okay?
I was like, I usually have everything set up on my computer, but apparently I fudged today. I got just so excited that I was going to see your face. I was like, fuck it, I know what I'm doing. And I was like, no, I don't, apparently.
That's all good.
All right, so you had written Silhouette of Strength, chapter 36, Bridges Between Worlds. You obviously have chapter 35, Flickers in the Dark. And then I think chapter 34, Christmas and the Number One Mom Charm. So all of my questions are probably in reference to those recent posts.
Okay.
For anybody who doesn't know who Mia is, you're crazy. But she has these amazing chapters that you should definitely catch up on. I do want to see what Sheila said because it seems thorough. Sisters can't be their mom's replacement. We can try our hardest, but once the position as sister has been established, the level of respect is also established. So I think this is interesting because I recently wrote a post about expectations.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's one of the things is like my sister has this expectation because I'm her sister. She can literally tell me to do anything and I have to do it.
And, and that was part of the problem or the challenge with our relationships, because,
Did
we thought I
expectations
was
kind of
trying
get in
to
the way?
control her,
Yeah.
It
And
was,
you might have, in all fairness, you might
well,
have.
of course, exactly, right? But, like there comes a point that you have to let people be what they're going to be because they're going to be whatever they want to be. But and here I am, and 55 years old. I understand that. I didn't know that because
Yeah, but
I didn't know that I didn't have that emotional intelligence.
that's okay. I think we all establish that within time. And I kind of hate that sometimes the world around us kind of makes us feel like we're always behind in it. Who cares how old you are? I'm just proud that you fucking finally got there. Right?
That's it, right?
To both of you, right? Because you both were able to get there to have a relationship that's going to continue to carry you and move forward in this life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I at this point, I really respect my sister, I love my sister, and she's my sister, right? So at this point, we are two fucking maple trees in a forest standing together, and our branches are our personal families, right? But in the middle, we have our parents and all of that shit. But this is us at this point, and I'm proud of us.
Yeah. I
I'm proud of you too.
definitely agree with that. And is like I said, it's been a journey to get here. Like it's been
Yeah,
a journey to get to the point where like we can look at each other as women and say we respect each other. And again, it's because we had so many lines blurred when we
yeah,
were younger, right? Like that's the bottom line.
yeah.
Well, if anybody is in this chat that doesn't really know what is going on, Mia, how would you kind of describe it in like a nutshell in like 3 seconds?
Um,
Like if you had to catch up people, if this is the first time that
yeah,
they saw you and they hadn't read
yeah.
anything,
Oh,
how would you catch them up?
we are the adult children of addicts and the mentally ill, and we are 12 years apart. And I took the responsibility of raising my sister and to who she is today.
At 2 years old.
Yeah.
At 2 years old fully. I mean, before then, obviously, she was doing a lot.
Yeah, so she was 12 when you entered this world. She was 14 when she started raising you.
Yes, correct.
And
but I mean, even when we were in the house, though, like, I think, my sister's pretty much been my mother since I came out the womb. You know what I mean? I mean, that's just the fact of the matter.
Sometimes,
but literally, like,
she should have been mine. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Like, I mean, officially on our own, yeah, out and, yeah, she was 14. But really, I mean, if you look at who was getting up with me and feeding me, making sure I was changed, that was predominantly my sister.
Wow. Well, there are some comments. Mez, Alicia, Berta, thanks for joining. Maddie says, I feel so lucky to have all of this content available, teaching me these things in my 20s. There is so much information that wasn't even out there for people to learn about prior to like 2015. Let's all just sit with that for a second, because I think the three of us are all part of a generation where in our 20s, the things that were being talked about are not the things that are now exposed to the people in their 20s in 2025. And I think that's kind of the point, right? Like, I would be mad right now if 20-year-olds still have the same fucking cockamamie shit that we all heard when we were in our 20s. I'm glad that people are continuing to push the limits and talking and having real conversations like this one, so that people don't feel alone, don't feel crazy in their thought processes, don't have to keep getting hurt to learn the lessons. Learn from all the people writing about the pain.
Right.
I always surrounded myself with people a little bit older than me, and I really listened to the things that they went through in life, because I can learn from your mistakes. Right. And that's how I kind of saw it. And like, that's why I feel like we're all connected. And that's why I love that you guys are here. Mez says, "Oh, I fit in here. Everybody fits in here." So thank you everybody who's here with us. I kind of want to ask Bianca a question. How did sharing spaces with Rob on those like day beds shape your sense of family?
That's interesting. I think that at the end of the day, like, Rob is truly, like, even though he's my brother-in-law, he's definitely my dad too. You know what I mean? So that's a line that's crossed and blurred a lot too. But I think that from my memories of it, I would just remember, like, feeling secure, and feeling safe. So I would say that kind of security, even though I knew there was a lot of craziness going on. I was very aware at a young age of a lot of different things. But I knew that no matter what, when I was with them, that I was safe. And those are my first memories, like truly my first memories of us being in that room. And I remember the hot plate, and I remember, how, Rob would always make jokes and make things a game in order to make things fun. So like those are the things I remember.
Warning in her face, that is a true story.
In my face, yeah. Like,
no pink eye, right? Nobody got pink eye, right?
I thank God I didn't get pink eye, but I could have. You know what I mean? But that's why with Rob, I told him when he was down in the hospital, I said, revenge is a bitch, man. You can't move, bro.
But I think because of those moments, you can joke like that to him, and it will lessen the seriousness of what somebody's actually facing. So even right now, Mia being able to say that helps kind of let it all breathe, and that's what we do, right? Humor helps people express themselves, but still be able to continue to laugh at life.
Right, and the funny thing is that she has Rob's and Pops's sense of humor. It's not me. I'm very serious, right? Yeah.
She's more of a dry humor, like,
Yeah.
and I mean, when I was little, that's what I used to do too, like, I used to always do like, impersonations and try to make people laugh, um, because if you had people laughing, they weren't arguing.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
And that is very, very true. I feel like I've always used my sarcasm to be funny, and obviously I've gotten told a lot in my life that I'm too sarcastic. So I've definitely learned how to like tone down. And then I was like, oh, maybe sarcasm's not a good thing. If everybody is complaining about it, maybe I'm the problem. That was my I'm the problem moment. But Silas, a new perspective, and a lot of thanks for joining. You said a lot of things there, and I never mean anytime I communicate, I'm never trying to compare, because my life and your guys' life is completely two different things, two different beautiful stories. But the messiness all happens in the Bronx, and that's kind of what I love. My parents stayed together for 25 years, I think, and neither one of them suffered from addiction. But it's crazy that I felt like I grew up in what you guys would consider a quote unquote normal home, but I was never safe because my father was the yeller, my father was the aggressor, so I never felt physically or emotionally safe in my household. So I'm so glad that Robert was there for both of you. And I swear to God, he is going to be the foursome that comes on the show next, because I need his perspective on this bitch too. I need the man who stepped up for both beautiful women to get on this fucking show and tell me how it's been to be that person. Because he sounds like an amazing human, honestly. So that's just a quick shout out to Robert, and we hope you're resting and getting well soon, because you are extremely needed and loved and adored. So thank you for taking care of these beautiful women, okay?
and watch your face. 'Cause you can't move now. No, I'm joking.
I love this. I love you guys. Okay. All right, Mia, are you ready?
I guess. Ay, ay, ay. Ay, ay, ay. Okay.
Oh, wait, you got a break. You got a break. Hold on. Maddie says, same experience here with the more functional parents, but aggressive dad. Yeah, so it's just crazy how you literally don't know what's happening behind anybody's doors. Right. So that's why it's important to move through life with love and kindness and empathy, and why not? Because literally there's so much going on in everybody's life. That's why I love this show, is because we get to highlight the fact that you just never know.
Right.
You literally never know. Even in buildings where you can hear your neighbors, you're still not paying attention to what's going on in their day-to-day life. You'll pick up on the routines of, if you see their car outside, if they're home, or you can hear, they're listening to their bachata, so you know that they're cooking, whatever. You might pick up on those cues, but you still don't know what's going on behind that damn door. Right. And that's the reality of life. So, all right. Yes, Beth. That night in Rob's room, holding Bianca close while the refrigerator buzzed and the hot plate clicked, what do you remember feeling most in those quiet, chaotic moments?
Good question, right? You have to remember that I was running, always running. So at night, it became about rest, right? Because everything was happening, and I was too young to understand, and you know, that was rest. That was rest. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Well, it's very interesting. Again, I really think that I need to get him on here too, because I love to kind of get his perspective about what it's like to live with you two, to share spaces with you two, to to be a part of the process of two people's evolution and safety and security. Like,
Yeah,
it's a
yeah. That must be amazing, right? Yeah. But you have to remember that he was my age and we were doing it together,
yeah,
and we were playing house together. And we met at in the laundromat when we were 7 years old, right? And then I was afraid of him because I thought that he was a pervert. So I didn't speak to him until we were teenagers or, adolescents, right? And then all of a sudden we had started hanging out in the same grouping. And his mother was Cuban. My mother was Cuban. Like it all worked out. We were all part of the same universe, the energy force. It's like I can't believe that I've known Rob forever, right? And we're not blood, but he's been there for me for everything, for everything. So
Facts.
yeah, yeah, right, yeah,
Facts.
yeah,
facts.
yeah.
Facts.
Yeah, and and when we were Warren speaking, he told me, Mia, you have to get this straightened out, right? And he called Bianca, Bianca, you have to straighten it out, and we were hard headed, and yeah, yeah,
Rob likes peace.
yeah. He's a
Well, that-
Rob,
Pisces.
he's a very simple man.
He's a Pisces.
And I mean that with with all the respect in the world. But he's
Yeah,
very simple.
I mean, it's good to come across humans that are that way, where they'll they don't require much, but what they give is also a lot too. So,
yeah, yeah. And
um,
I want to share that Pops, his birthday is the day before Rob's birthday.
Mm.
So I married Pops.
yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I mean, yeah. No, I don't want to say crazy. I think maybe again, the way that you describe your father in your writing, it definitely comes off as admiration.
Yeah,
Um,
he's
you definitely adored that. It seems like you definitely adored him in all the context, even though he wasn't perfect either in the way that.
right. But we all are not perfect, you know what I mean? He did the best that he could at that time.
Right.
So that's it.
I mean, that's literally all we all do,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Robes, thanks for joining. He says, hello, everyone. Peace and meta. Patricia, thanks for joining. All right. So living in that room with Rob and Bianca, you were talking about cooking on that hot plate. Um, how did you was there anything that was like tradition? Like, this is, we eat this every Tuesday type of thing was,
No, we were into fast food,
yeah.
and
No.
it was really about the money that Zeta, Rob's mother, used to give him every day before she would go to work, and we had $20 to divvy up. And back in the day, you could get a um Happy Meal and 2 meals, and we were good. We started gaining a lot of weights, but, that is what we did. And when Zeta was home, she was always making us chicken with, fried chicken with garlic
They
and
just made all types of stuff. Zeta
yeah,
cook her ass off. So I mean,
yeah, she
Okay.
when Zeta was home, we ate well.
exactly.
Do
We
you
you know,
do you
uh,
guys do either one of you guys or do you both cook now?
yeah, we
I
both do.
do.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah.
how did you guys who did you guys learn from each other? Who taught?
Bianca went to a culinary institute when she was in high school, and she can tell you about it. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that we ate a lot of fast food, right? Like she
Hmm.
said.
Hmm.
But like I would always remember trying to cook. Like I'm the person that like she likes to cook for the holiday. Like like I'm going out for Thanksgiving and I'm probably gonna be making a lot of the stuff because like she likes certain things that I make. So and Mia can cook when she wants.
Right.
Right.
Yeah,
So
it's true.
when she wants to,
If I,
she can throw
yeah,
down.
yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so that sounds very aligned with me. I felt like my sister, one, because she had her son, learned and was definitely cooking meals way before me. I was definitely somebody that would definitely eat out more. I think what I noticed this year is, one, financially that's not very cost effective, and two, it is not great for your health. So I definitely have changed my dietary habits, and I was just intrigued because it's like I all of a sudden have kind of fell in love with cooking and the connections, and I feel like I come from two heritages that like my culture between Italian and Puerto Ricans, like you show people you love them through your food. You feed them, you give them food. So it's just very interesting that maybe you guys do have like any type of memories of anything like that.
So,
No,
yeah.
not really, not for me anyway. I mean, I feel like the memories of food are a lot of us going out. You know, we had the pizzeria around the corner. I remember the pizzeria like no tomorrow because he liked us so much. So, you know what I mean? Like he knew who we were and he knew what was going on with us. So, you know, I think it was more like just being together and going out and eating.
Yeah.
And then I had a period where I did live with my grandma for a little bit. My grandma was an awesome cook, and I learned stuff from her because I wasn't allowed to go out. It's a Bronxdale project, so I wasn't allowed to go out. So she would have me helping her cook a lot. So I also picked up some stuff from there. And then when we moved in 11th grade, because we always moved around a lot, moved in 11th grade, which, as you know, in high school is like devastating. But it was like,
That's your junior year. You're
yeah, so it was like crazy. So I hated the school that I went to. So what I did was I went to school for 4 periods. And then I was like, "Oh, great. I can go to BOCES and do this and not have to be in the school because I
Mhm.
hated the school."
Mm.
So I went for
Mhm.
culinary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I so what did you do culinary for like a year?
no, for 2 years because
For
I
2
wanted
years?
yeah, because I wanted to not be in the school.
But
Oh, so
she learned. She
well, so you learned how to like
learned.
cook and do some stuff, like cut some
Right.
stuff up, right?
Right,
Oh,
exactly.
Yeah.
but I mean that's a good thing because I really felt like this year as a 35-year-old I was like, okay, so I am responsible to feed myself for the rest of my life.
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
I
Right.
have to learn how to do this. Like I can no longer put it off and put it like
Right.
so I literally, no shame in this shit. Chat GPT. This is what I have. This
Mm.
is kind of what I'm thinking. Can you help me? And I'll get a full
Good.
like instructions and then
Good for
ingredients.
you.
And that's how I've been learning how to cook.
Yeah. Good for you.
Chat
It's
GPT.
good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Really good.
So
That's
I'm
good.
like,
Now you have to remember, for me, m-
listen,
mom,
nobody showed anybody.
they didn't cook. They didn't cook, and
Yeah.
if they
My mom did not cook. Our
yeah,
mom did not
and
cook.
he would make the sandwiches. Maybe from time to time he would make a liver, and I hate liver today because that is what they did. There
Yeah.
wasn't
Oh, he
rice
made
and
liver?
beans. What? Yeah, he loved liver back in the day. But I went to my grandparents' house for my arroz con pollo. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because my mother didn't believe in that. Yeah.
All right. So I'll ask you guys. I have always felt like the lack of culture that I grew up in. So like my mom didn't speak Spanish unless she was communicating with her dad. So like I didn't grow up in a household that spoke it. My dad didn't speak Italian or even talk about like anything about that. So I feel like I got deprived of culture, and I've always been very attracted to my Hispanic females because most of them speak it, most of them listen to the music, cook the food, stuff like that. Do you guys sometimes miss being like having that like sense of Puerto Rican pride or something like, or
Uh,
because it was
I
never
think
like it never had
uh,
it.
I think we both have it,
Yeah.
and yeah, I think we both have it, and when it's time, we jam out and we cook the food, and we make the coquico to go, and right, Bianca, what do you think about that?
I feel like you are definitely more ingrained in the culture than I am. Like Pre-stroke, she spoke fluently. My sister absolutely dances extremely beautifully, just like my mom. And so I feel like I'm more farther removed from it because I don't speak at all. I can pronounce things very well, right? So that always fools people. But I don't speak it at all. I don't really dance it like that, right? But I love to listen to the music because I love the congas and I love all the musicality behind our music is absolutely beautiful, complicated, and the artistry behind it is amazing, right? So
Yeah,
I love
she
that. I
can
love to
twerk
watch.
around. Sorry.
Yeah. I Wow.
She's always got to say something, right?
Sorry. Yeah. So anyway, so like how I grew up more like listening to like I'm sorry, giving away my age, but like Wu-Tang in the 90s and that hip hop and reggae and I mean reggaeton started, with boom boom mommy mommy, like what I mean, all of that, like that was what I grew up with. So like I feel like I'm more ingrained in like New Yorican culture than like being a Puerto Rican, if that makes sense.
No,
So yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I very much feel sometimes very distant from my culture, and I think I just need to go to Puerto Rico and just be like, I don't care what anybody tells me. I know I'm from here. Like, I just know like I can't speak no fucking Spanish, but I'm gonna figure out how to eat good, see a beach,
Good.
and just fucking relax. I promise you that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Yeah.
but I do feel like we could definitely learn how to continue to be a little bit more active, I guess, in our cultures. All right, so shifting gears a little bit.
Yeah.
How did watching Pops unravel or witness eviction and loss affect the way you made decisions for yourself and your little sister, Mia?
Wow, that's loaded.
Yeah.
All of them are because they're
So
they're they're there to try to again. She's
Yeah,
very open with what she talks
that's
about.
why it's so, I'm trying to be like I'm trying to be light today, but I can't. Thank you, but it's okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, no,
It's
okay.
it,
No, listen, it is what it is. It's okay. It's okay. I can do this. I can do this. Um, my relationship with Pops has been really. I love him. I love him. He's my father, truly, right? But I was raised to care for him just as much as my mother. Um, so to see him unravel, was really, he was my father, and he should have been able to see that I was worried about him so dangerously,
Mhm.
in my mental, to the point that when he went out, I worried about him. When he came back home, then I was able to rest. My mother was out in the streets, so I didn't know what to do, right? So when we got evicted, I felt that he should have been able to do something better, but he couldn't. And I didn't understand that at the time.
I
You
mean,
know,
I don't think honestly. I was
did I answer your question?
yeah, you're fine. For
Okay.
me it was just like the other day I was watching this dad and he
Mm.
had two younger girls
Uh-huh.
and he we there was I was it was traffic in New Rochelle and there was a fire truck and like police officers and everything on one side of the street and he was on the opposite side. And he like just looked over there and he just like grabbed each one of his girls' hands
Mhm.
and he just like walked and I was just like that's what dads should do, right? Like they should be there to hold your hand and walk you through life and you not have to worry about
Right.
they're
And
going through
and
or where you're
right,
supposed to be
right,
sleeping the next day, right?
right,
So I'm
right.
sure I'm sure that made it very difficult for you to understand how to make the right decisions to continue to protect not just you, but Bianca.
Right.
Yeah.
I didn't, right? I didn't, I had to learn as I went.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I mean, but I mean, we're all doing it, and I think it's a.
And two, y- I think that b- 1 to 11 to 12 years old, even though it wasn't perfect, um, he was my father, and just like my mother. And as they unraveled, it was heartbreaking, but it was something that I had to move forward, and like I said, without Bianca, I couldn't have done that because she was my inspiration.
Hmm. So I'd like to think that Bianca was to you what you should have been to your parents.
Yes.
In theory, right? Like you came into this world to save people, and it wasn't for you to do that. It was just like your birth should have pushed them to get clean, get sober, stuff like that, right? And it's not that easy, right? You
Right.
guys both witnessed how hard the addiction was, especially in the area and the time. So
Yeah.
you can understand and justify it, but it still hurts. I know it. Like
Yeah.
it's just it's insane how your parents are always going to try to do the best that they can, and you guys probably know as parents, like everybody
Yeah.
tries to show up for their kids the best way that they
Yeah.
can, but you're still a human at the end of it.
Yeah, but I always heard my mother say, you know, I remember being a child, and it wasn't until I was a young adult that I realized that they weren't perfect. They made mistakes. And that lesson I always have with me because she was right. People make mistakes, and up until I was 12 years old, even though they were making mistakes, they weren't loving on me, yeah. And
Yeah, but
yeah.
you
So
became
and it's really interesting because I don't recall a picture that Pops has with Bianca and I holding hands.
yeah, I mean, that's what I say. Like, I don't know if you guys can remember that. I don't really have.
Yeah, and that's
That's
interesting because
I mean, yeah. So it's just like I walk through life
long
and I see something like that, and it triggers such different responses depending on who you
yeah,
talk to, you
yeah,
know.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. That was good. That was really good, to be honest with you, because, you know, when we look at our childhoods, I have the pictures, with them. Bianca doesn't.
yeah. I mean, I'm sure that did that. Have you gotten past that, Bianca, or is there still days that you're just like mad that you don't even have like? Because I like wish I had better pictures of me younger, like
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Um,
You
yeah.
crank them
No,
out.
that's a good one. Our mom recently passed this year, and I personally didn't think I was gonna take it as hard as I did, and I don't mean that in a bad way, but what I mean is that Mia had a relationship with my mother that I never had, right? So, like, she got to see certain motherly parts, right, of my mom, right? I truly only saw the addicted part of my mom. And we did have a period where me and my mom lived together where Mia then was like, "All right, yeah, you go live with mom." And mom was sober. She was on probation. She always told me, she was like, the day I get off probation, I'm getting high all the time. She would always tell me that. And so even when she was sober throughout that time, there was a lot of like addict things that were happening. And sure enough, the day that she did get off of probation, she got high. And I walked in on it. So it's like, you know, with all of that being said, when she passed away, like I was looking for pictures because I did the picture, thing for um her for the service that we had, and it was difficult me trying to look through, and it was all Mia, Pop, you know what I mean? And Pops is my biological father, so it's like, I'm like, "Damn," like, I'm his twin, like, it's like we have the same each other's and I'm like, I don't really have anything with my dad. I don't really have anything with my mom, and all of my pictures when I'm younger are me, Mia, and Rob. So it's like, I don't really have that, you know? And, Mia has always said, like, when she's even talking to Pops now or, like, they live together or, because of his own mental issues, he had a long period of time where he doesn't speak to me, and he'd be speaking to Mia, and I'm like, like, I don't even have that conversation, So it's like or at
Mhm.
the time, I didn't have that conversation, and Mia would always say, "I don't wanna make you feel bad," and I was like, "It's not you making me it's not you, like, I'm just expressing that like, I don't have that, but I know it's not I know it's n you're not the issue," you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah, but it's
that's
still
kind of
right. It's
it
still
still hurt it
yeah,
absolutely still hurts,
yeah,
but
yeah,
it is the cards that we were dealt, you know what I
yeah.
mean? It is the
And
cards that I was dealt.
and yeah, it's been a long time that we as a family unit has have been in the same room, and it's just starting to form. And you know, pro- years prior, it was either Bianca that was the person, you know, and they didn't talk to me, or I was the bad guy,
Yeah,
and
there
they
was always bad
talk-
guy, good guy, right? So it's like,
yeah,
for a few years, Mia's the person that they talk to. For the few years, I'm the person that they talk to. And it sucks because, like I was telling Mia, when my mom passed, I'm sorry, Mia, I just like
it's okay,
completely threw off, and I mean,
okay,
but like,
it's okay.
it has always felt like they were always almost trying to pin us against each other as opposed to, and I don't know if that was intentional or unintentional or kind of what it was, but there's always been like this, like, well, Mia's fucked up, or no, Bianca's fucked up, or and then we're not talking to each other, and we're not, yeah,
It sounds unfortunately like, I don't know. It's if you can get your kids against each other, then they're not worried about what I'm doing.
right,
They're not gonna be mad at me for
facts,
what I'm doing.
yeah,
So it's just like that type of
manipulation,
Mhm.
just a lot of things. So just like I
yeah,
that's why both of your stories are extremely inspirational and deserve all the platforms in the world to talk about it. That since you're open to talking about it, because they will help somebody. People will be like, "Damn, that kind of sounds like the dysfunctional family that I'm in right now," and
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
So I think it's important.
No, it's like, you can't make this up. You can't make it.
yeah,
It's one of
and
those
then
things.
and the other thing too is that, like, I feel like with my mom, like I became almost like my mom's friend to a certain extent. And I think that because Mia took the responsibility of me, like, as I've been reading through this and just knowing our history, like, I think almost my mom felt so threatened by Mia that, you know, she was taking care of me and she did have good jobs and she was providing. And then, you know, like, what got to me was the story when you said, Mia, that, which I didn't know. And I actually told you, I think I cried when I read it. When she came to what was it, for the preschool to show what was that? The oh god, I can't get it in my head right now. But that
When she signed you up for
signed
preschool,
me up
yeah.
for preschool, and I didn't know that story, but, like, her coming to try to show that she's being a mom, like, to my sister, it's like there was a level of resentment against my sister because she took care of me and because my mom knew that she wasn't adequate enough to do so,
Mm, mm.
you know?
I
So
mean, there sounds like again, it's multi-layered. There's a lot of things going on. Um, but it makes me wonder what kind of household your parents grew up in, what their parents were like, and stuff like that. And again, that's where it gets really messy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Real quick though, Beth says that she only has 2 pictures before she was 4, and it's just like the one thing that I will say about my sister is that she is constantly taking pictures of her son, like from a couple of months old to now almost 14, she has constantly had a phone in that freaking kid's face and is constantly taking pictures. And I like in the beginning of it used to be like, yo, leave him alone. Like,
Right.
and now it's just like, no, when he gets to his 30s, to his 40s, and he is trying to remember versions of him and
Right.
the cycle that we all as humans go through, it's going to
Right.
be so much easier when you can come face to face with a photo of you.
Right.
You know, because so a lot of what I'm trying to like unpack from my own childhood, and that's why I empathize so much with you, Bianca, is like, if there's no pictures of even this time frame of me, how can I remember what I looked like or who I even was to process, hug, and heal and move the fuck on? Like,
Yeah.
it makes me feel
Yeah.
sometimes stuck
Yeah.
in like
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
That's well said. It's
Yeah.
definitely well
Yeah.
said. And it's something that, like, sometimes Mia will be like, she'll talk to me, she'll be like, "Oh, you don't remember X, Y, and Z?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about?"
Mm.
Like, and then she's like, you know, there's just a lot of that. I mean, I just even got on the phone with her before and I told her that a memory that she had of when she was writing about, mom being on the floor and in front of the department store. I thought when I read that, I thought I've had this reoccurring dream of that whole scene my whole life, right? And I didn't know. I thought it was just a dream. And when I read what she wrote, I was like, holy shit,
It really did
that
happen.
actually happened.
Yeah.
That wasn't a dream that I've had my whole life. Like, that happened,
And look,
you
I
know?
wonder what the symbolism of that moment too, of clarity for you to know that subconsciously you've been replaying something in your head about your mother, and then you get this verification that no, that happened and somebody else witnessed it. Like, I wonder that, like, I'm assuming that had to help you process whatever you
Yeah.
might have felt from it, you know?
Yeah. Absolutely. So, I read it quite a few times, and kind of was triggered by it for a little bit because it was like, oh shit, like, I didn't realize that that was, in fact, an actual thing that happened. And it was probably the first time that I probably even ever realized that something was wrong with my mom.
Mm. Oof, oof, oof. Maybe that's why you keep replaying that. Maybe that dream was trying to kind of signal to you, hey, like, this is who she was. This is who she was. And
Mhm.
like, it was hard for you to come to that reality because it's like, no, that's absurd. That cannot be true or whatever. I must have dreamt that. But then you read it. I can only imagine the smack. I'm sorry. I'm having like all this emotions for you over here,
Mhm.
like trying to process and deal with, like, again, what you guys are doing is so important. Not for just individuals, but like for your family.
Yeah.
Because I think it's important that we have the conversations. Like, I just had a recent post about potatoes and eggs, and that's
Mm.
an Italian American traditional thing, and that is something my grandmother used to make, and I have been making it for months for breakfast.
Mm.
And when my aunt shares that piece of it, I feel like I can get her back. I feel like it's connecting me, like, with somebody I never even knew. So I think by the fact that you guys continue to like talk things out about your family, it's just going to keep helping you process some stuff. Sheila said generational trauma, and Beth said the pictures at least from an adoptee's perspective are so important. I can only imagine. Larry, thanks for joining. I'm so mad that she meant her phone could have died too. Who knows?
Oh.
But I did send her another invite, so she'll be able to connect when she's able to, you know?
Oh. Yep.
Oh, okay. Let's breathe.
Yes. Thank you.
Ex- Xfinity lies. Oof. All right. Well, how are you feeling? Bianca has joined the chat, so I sent you another invitation. You'll be able to come in whenever it allows you to. There she is. Okay, she's back.
Sorry, I don't know what happened. I think I pressed something.
I mean, it's okay. I was like, should she just like, what is it called? I don't want to say anything that could be offensive. Actually, never mind. I'm not going to say anything. But like, it's a type of exit where she just was like, you know what?
Yeah, no.
All right. Well, I kind of want to ask you guys a bridge questions, like something that from perspective. My internet connection is unstable. Okay, Beth, mine is unstable. I feel like too. I feel like I'm lagging. I don't know if you guys, if I'm not, but
Mm.
on my end, I feel like I'm okay. We're good.
Yeah, you go.
All right. That's how I do it. I just like move really fast, and I was like, okay, I'm staying. Then it's good.
You're good. You're good.
Okay.
Good.
All right, cool. So I just want to know from each one of you, what does the word family mean to you? Berta says my life is unstable. I can relate.
I think family does mean unconditional love, but that doesn't mean crossing boundaries. All right. I think that it means that there is a loyalty and honesty there that you could never really get from somebody else.
Mm.
That you're only going to take from family because you know that they have the best interests of you at heart.
Mm.
So, I mean, I think that's the main points of what I think family is.
What about you, Mia?
Love, team. We're a team. We love each other. We roll together. For me, that is what family is.
Bad boys for life. No, I'm just
Right?
Honesty,
I mean, I mean, you
Oh,
guys,
God.
you ladies are not wrong in either context. I mean, I just wrote a little post I think yesterday about expectations and
Yeah.
the ones that come with family and stuff like that. So when I really think about it, I'm like, technically right now I say I have 0 friends. Like I
Mhm.
had cleared my table. I am in hibernation. I am cocooned and I'm waiting for my butterfly to eventually come out, probably sometime next year. But when I think about that thought itself could be very scary. And it's like I literally all I have is my mom, my dad, and my sister, and my nephew. And like my aunt and my grandfather. Like there's a couple, but that's all I have is family. And I feel like moving in my later 30s, family has definitely become a little bit more complex than what I maybe once thought about it.
Yeah.
So I think it's important for families to have the tough conversations, to really get out each other's sides of what one remembers, and like allow to like remember that two things can be true at the same time, right? Like just because Mia thinks from one perspective and Bianca thinks it from a different perspective doesn't mean that either one is wrong. Just
Yeah.
the way that it was perceived from each based on the individual things that you guys have lived. I think that's probably what sometimes is really hard about families. Like we're always trying to prove that, like, no, we're right, or at least in my fucking family. Like, no, my way's right, like some type of shit. So it's always like a combative type of situation instead of just, I hear you.
Yeah.
This is how I remember it, though.
Yeah.
And that's also true, and it's also valid, and it's also okay.
Right.
But acknowledgement definitely goes a long way with family. So I'm glad that you both have acknowledged the roles that each other has played in each other's ups and downs of life, and I'm glad that you guys have have each other and still have each other.
Yeah, I think we're still learning, right? I think that we're still learning. We have this 12 years age difference, and I'm learning how to be 55 years old, and she's learning how to be 43 years old. When she's 55 and I'm 67, the story is going to change and evolve. Yeah, we're still learning.
And I hope to still have a front row seat to all of it. And
Yeah, exactly.
I definitely think that, where you guys are at now, we'll just continue to help each other get to the versions of each other that you guys want to be.
And you're right. My life has been centered around my family, right? So maybe I have Sheila, I have maybe 2 other best friends, you know what I mean? And that's it. So with Rob going through what he's going through right now, it's lonely. She's in North Carolina, Sheila's in Florida. It's like, I'm managing this shit by myself, at this moment,
in that day to day.
yeah, and my because I have my family. That is really what I have.
No, and that's usually what, like, when people strip it down,
Yeah.
the reality of things, like, cool, you might meet a friend once a month for brunch, but if that person isn't also showing up in the messy times in the months after such tragedy, and there's still remnants to still be picked up,
Right.
that's again, that's where I think the story that you're writing, Mia, is just proof of your own ability and strength, and that's why you are going to be even better after everything is said and done, because you and Rob will be able to continue to do whatever you guys wanna do as retirees, because that's what
Yeah. Yeah.
you know,
That is the hope, right? That is the
that's what's gonna happen
yeah,
regardless.
that is the hope, and but there's a lot that still needs to be done, right? And here we are, and we're working through it, yeah. Yeah.
I think for me, what has, helped me through at least the last maybe couple of weeks is the understanding that every day that I'm here is a literal blessing, and I'm no longer finding any reason to not absolutely cheese at the sun every day and take moments of reflection to myself and just be grateful that I'm here, because when I start sharing parts of my story, I'm like, "Yo, the fact that I didn't die, like, 10 years ago is kinda crazy." Or, like, I had, all these near misses, so I just feel like, um, it's definitely been an interesting ride. Sheila says, "Rob, put down the bacon."
Yeah. So I know that everyone knows that Rob got into a bad accident on July 1st. He was riding his moped to work, and um, he had a car accident. He was hit by a car, and two legs are broken and an elbow that is broken. He's downstairs in the basement, recovering, but we found out that he has high blood pressure. Sorry, Rob. And, you know, he was swollen. For 2 months, he has been swollen. Listen, right? I'm
Leave
telling
bacon out
you.
of it.
Honestly, what are we doing? What are we doing?
I think he got into an accident to help understand
Yeah,
his health.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so 2 months later, his OT person checks his blood pressure and says, Rob, I can't work with you right now. Why? Oh, your pressure is too high. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm trying to get him whole again. And now we had an issue with the high blood pressure. Now he's taking this medication and the swelling is done, right? So today I said, no bacon. I'm trying to be that person, right? I said,
Listen,
no bacon. So, of course, he's like, I'm going to make myself a serving of bacon. I was like, hell no. So I had to throw away the bacon.
oh, okay. So, Robert, I'm going to side with the females in your life, and I'm gonna say no bacon for the rest of the year. Challenge yourself for no bacon for the rest of the year. You're too valued. You're too valued. You can't go out because of bacon.
And no more fried chicken.
Oh, look, he's getting blasted for no reason. Let's leave Robert alone. All right, before we close out the evening,
Oh,
I have one last deep question for both of you. Um, if you guys could go back to that shared childhood space, the day bed with Rob in the room, Washington Heights apartment, what would you tell your younger selves? Have you thought about that yet? So I've had this, like, struggling concept that I've noticed lately that people communicate often, like, during the healing process. It helps sometimes to kind of go back and sit with your younger self. Now, Bianca, I know that that can be very difficult if you don't have pictures of that version of you, but it
yeah.
doesn't mean that
I have pictures.
you have some.
Like
Okay,
I said, I have pictures with me and Rob.
okay, yeah. So then
Yeah.
yeah, okay, all right, good.
Yeah.
So, like, have
I,
you got?
I, I I have gone through this process myself, right? And I would have my younger self go out and play. It's, 'cause
Stop trying to control everything. Just go out and enjoy life.
exactly.
If that's what you would say
Go
to your younger
go
self,
out and play, have fun.
so why can't you do that now, yo? I say anything you say to your
Or
anything you say to
I'm
your younger self, you
trying.
can do now.
What?
Anything you can say to
Stop
your
it.
younger self, you should do now.
Stop it. Stop
Sorry, I come with a little sass
it.
with motivation.
it.
I just feel like what you said that you would say to your younger self, you're saying it out loud. You
You're
have to
right.
hear it too. Like you could still
You're
go
right.
out and enjoy life. You are not capable of that. You know? So whatever you wished the younger version of yourself would have done, show up today doing it, you know? Because you can give that to yourself. I have full confidence in that, you know. So
Okay.
I don't know what
Okay.
Natalie would tell herself, but
It's your turn.
Period.
I want. So, what would you tell your younger self?
Me?
The both of you.
Oh, I think that I would tell my younger self that speak up even if it's uncomfortable.
mm, mm.
That's good. Yeah.
I genuinely feel like communication is sometimes the root to everything. So whether it's good or bad, usually it's the stem. So I think being able to communicate is crucial. I said earlier today to another friend that I wish they had a class called setting boundaries.
Right. Right.
Because and if your parents, which they didn't, neither did mine, had no idea what they were or how to do that, they cannot show you how to. And again, everything that I know about human
Yep.
nature is we observe, we learn by seeing.
Hmm.
You know, so if there was a household that we all grew up in that had parents that were safe spaces emotionally and physically, that never again just knew how to handle conflict without raised voices, but allowing you to, well, why do you feel that way? Asking more of those questions
Yeah.
so that you can process your own feelings. It would make things a little bit easier, but
Um.
that's what life's for,
We
apparently.
we have a cousin. We have a cousin, Mario, and he's raising his children, and it's interesting that they allow their daughter to feel, right? They allow their daughter to express her disappointment when she doesn't get her way. I've witnessed this, right? And she walks away knowing that she was able to air out her feelings, that she was disappointed and seen and seen. We weren't seen, right? So I raised my sister the same way. And you
Children are seen, not heard.
yeah, yeah. And you know, that is why we have the emotional intelligence of an 8-year-old, right? That's what she says. I
Oh,
listen to her every morning. I'm sorry. Mel.
who?
Yeah.
Mel Robbins, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, she says the most humans are walking around in like the 8-year-old version of themselves. And
Yeah.
again, you have to be able to go through and process things. So I just um I feel like the thing that I would say to my younger version is you are the prize.
Mm-hmm.
I think I spent so much of my life trying to convince myself that I was worthy of the friendships, of the jobs, of the relationships,
Mm-hmm.
that I forgot who the fuck I was. Like I
Mm-hmm.
was born to fuck shit up here, and I am destined to do great things. And I think I had to live the life that I lived so that I have the stories and the life experience to be able to continue to move forward and help others through it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I definitely think that would be something that I would definitely tell her is that you are the prize.
Mm-hmm. And you are.
I know.
You are.
It took today to get here to understand that, but
Yeah.
moving forward confidently, knowing who the fuck I am, definitely makes things a little bit easier. Ladies, we have been yapping for about an hour. We have gone through quite a few of my questions, and I think maybe maybe, just hopefully, this conversation will have helped some people. And I genuinely appreciate both of you showing up your full selves.
Mhm. Thank you
Absolutely.
for having
Thank
us.
you for
Yeah,
having us. Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
I could tell that Bianca, I'm gonna kind of call you out a bit. That your
Good.
li your life, has hardened you a little bit more. So I did like to see the tears shed because I know that all of this has been heavy, but I
No,
could
it's definitely like as far as I don't know, I have a tendency to think that Mia is definitely like way and always has been way more emotional, right? I mean, that's just the way that it is, right?
Yes,
Like
that would be the
that's
reverse of what I just said.
yeah. I mean, right, but
Yeah.
it's like it's always been that way. And for me, like I think that as a young kid, I would stay quiet and observe a lot of different things, right? So like you know, I would try not to rock the boat in a lot of different areas, and that
Mhm.
also means sometimes like you have to keep your emotion in check.
Yeah.
You know what
Mhm.
I mean? Like you have to because if everybody is chaotic around you and you're chaotic too, like it's like how are you helping the situation? You're
Mhm.
not. You're
But
right. Like
I mean, I love that you said it like that and put me back in my place. But more importantly, I feel I know. I feel though, like I still feel empathy towards the fact that you had to be that observant and aware that like, this isn't the time for you to have your meltdown. You can't
yeah,
have your meltdown too, bitch. Like, like that type
correct,
of
correct.
comment. Like,
Correct.
Right.
you can't.
Like
So I mean,
I would have them, but it's just
it's
like
just yeah,
sometimes
it's
there's a
different.
place and time, you know?
Yeah, but to have learned that, I mean, at
She
whatever
learned it
age that
young.
was,
Yeah.
yes,
She
is so
learned it
because
young.
people, like I said, people go into their 40s and still don't realize that the way that they react is literally just an 8-year-old temper tantrum elevated in a 40-year-old's body.
Mhm.
Well,
So
I mean, I've always been called like the mom in my groups and stuff like that too. Like when I was younger and like all my friends were like smoking weed and doing this and doing that. Like I would get them home safely. And like my nickname was mom in my group. And like, and it's just because there was a lot going on and I'm not going to get too deep in it to it, but there was a lot going on at the time. And like I said, Mia was a kid raising a kid. So there were times where, like she wanted to do what she wanted to do. She didn't have the ability to have like she didn't have the ability to be able to have a childhood. So
Mhm.
when she became an adult and was able to like have her money and do what she wanted to do, like there were times where, yeah, maybe not the best choices or whatever the case may be, but on the same token, like she still tried to make sure that I was taken care of, you
yeah,
know?
I mean
So
that. Wait, listen, the only thing that I've ever cared for is dogs, and that's kind of my lane. Is I could take care of dogs. So the fact that I mean, honestly, like I'm over. I could just imagine like the one I think about the most is like my sister as a single mom at a young age, like 20. Um, she never got to have the experiences that I had in my 20s.
Mhm.
And maybe that's
yeah,
great because again, like that was prime addiction for me, but like that's still experimental. That's still like, go out and have fun. Like she didn't have to like all of my life I've been able to just do whatever I wanted to do the moment I got my own car keys and never
yeah.
thought like once or twice about anybody else.
It's
Mind
funny
you,
that you say that because like with my daughter right now, like my daughter has had a very Disney life compared to us.
yeah, that's great.
And which is
Mhm.
great, right? I'm very proud of that, right? However, like I look at when I'm reading Mia's story and I told Mia this, like I'm like, damn, like I look at Anaya, I'm like, and her, and reading about her at that time. And it was like, holy crap, like she was the age of my daughter. And I'm looking at my daughter being so carefree, like just doing what she wants to do. And I'm like, I'm so sad that my sister didn't have that. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like I'm sad that like when I see that, I'm like, wow, like as an adult looking back as a mom, you're like, shit, that's fucked up. Like, but when you're a younger kid, you're thinking about like, oh, I wish I had my mom, or why is she making that decision? Can't she see X, Y, and Z? But then through the lens of a 43-year-old woman who is a mom, and then you're looking at somebody that age. and I'm reading my sister's writing, I'm like, wow, like, what a mind fuck. And I think I even called her one day and I started crying and I was like, I'm so sorry you went through all that. Like, I'm so sorry, you know? So, yeah.
Well, I mean, again, there's a reason why Mia has been motivated to do this year, and it obviously is going to continue to strengthen your guys' bond and relationship. And I again genuinely appreciate both of you showing up here so honest and open with everybody. Robert does have a comment.
Okay.
And he says, amazing, thank you. Two of the greatest women I know. We have come so far. I can't express my gratitude to have them as part of my life. We have become grown-ups.
Well said.
So, I mean, I think even in the dysfunctionality of everything that you both have lived through, there is something poetically beautiful about the life that you guys have created. And I am just so epically honored to have both of you, with me having this conversation. I look forward to obviously reading more and continuing to see the way both of your stories continue to unfold, because you guys know what happened, but we don't know all the middles from then to now. So
Right.
I'm sure Mia will continue to be as vivid with her writing that will make me feel like I'm in these apartments in Washington Heights. And because I'm from the area, I feel like I can feel it even more vividly because I know what you're talking about. The fact that I didn't get to one of the questions, but you obviously went to Pace and you talk about White Plains, and I live in Westchester County now. Like I do Uber in White Plains every day. Like I'm
Yeah.
always there. Pace University was one of my colleges that I wanted to go to, and then I was like, I'm not artsy enough for them. Like I don't have that I didn't think I had that creative side.
Mm.
Because I never even thought about writing.
Right.
Like whatever. So it's just like there's so much more that we could continue to unfold here, but I don't want to take any much more of anybody's time. Maddie does say, a thing I love to say to my inner child is, you deserve to have all the love, protection, and attention you needed as a child. And I'm sorry you didn't get that. I'm here to love, protect, and listen to you now. Yep. I think that's a beautiful mantra. And I think that's literally the evolution of each human. Is I sometimes I wonder, so we have 3 different generations here, right? I'm 36, you said you're 43, 55.
Mhm.
3 different generations that grew up in the Bronx, New York at 3 different times.
Yeah.
And there is still a connection between us all, I feel like. And I do think that we all are just learning and going through the processes of life of, you have to start dealing with the shit that happened beforehand so you can actually live through whatever is left of your life and stuff. So it's been a poetic conversation. I appreciate you guys again. Thank
Yeah,
you guys for being
me too. And we have to shout out Oprah Winfrey, right?
Yeah, and Tyler
And
Perry can make
right,
our
right,
movie,
right,
and
Yeah.
Oprah, she's always wanted to interview with you, Oprah Winfrey,
right,
if you're
right.
listening, if
Yeah,
algorithms
or
are listening,
right, or
like,
Leif
um, AI, I don't
yeah, yeah.
know.
No, and you're right though. Like I said, you put it out there, you just never know. I said I hope to aspire to be an Oprah Winfrey, so I hope this is like the Bronx version of it right now. But one day she will get to the real stage of Oprah, and I will eventually say my name and have my own show of my own. So
Yeah.
I appreciate everybody who has sat with us and hopefully cried a little with us. Hopefully thought a
Yeah,
little.
thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
um like I say, anybody is always welcome to come back. We have holidays coming up, and I hope you guys find time to connect and maybe start some new traditions with your children. Like Bianca, with your kids and stuff. Like maybe think about the things that you guys didn't have and continue to give the kids in in your lifespan, like the ones what you want. Because I always tell my sister, like, I think it's cool that we were able to give your kids, like my nephew, a completely different life than us. And it's not like I grew up in a horrible part of the Bronx. It definitely was different though. So it's cool to see him thriving in a good school and a good community and stuff like that. And I think everything that we do is just to keep elevating and keep improving each generation. So I know that he will be a great man one day to a woman and have hopefully amazing children as well. So, that's all we can look forward to, right? Well,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You've been in the inner room where the conversations go deep, the connections surprise, and the truths linger long after the world quiets down. Until next time, keep listening inward because that's where the stories that shape us really live. I appreciate you both very much, and I hope you both have a beautiful evening. Mia, I will be in touch. Guys, I will be in touch.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I
Thank you so
appreciate you
much.
guys. Have a great night.
Yeah.
Yes. Bye.
Thank you.